Okay, so some but not all the parts that came in for both the Rancher and the Rubicon, just 2 oil filters, front and rear output shaft seals, and there's the part numbers for everything. 2 NGK spark plugs and bushings for the Rubicon's rear knuckle, and also the O2 sensor for his Rancher. This thing was throwing out a code. I believe the code was 23. It was 2 short blinks and 3 quick blinks on the dash there. And if you have an ES model, that code 23 is for the shift sensor. And then if you don't have an ES, it is for the O2 sensor. FYI. It's pretty common too, the 23 code for both of them. So that'll take care of these. Let's go ahead and get these installed. Okay, so I spared y'all the time frame of trying to get the old bushings out. They were just all really hard and brittle, and they were just breaking out as you went. So the new bushings actually fit in there really, really tight compared to the Polaris's that I've been doing. So just coat them up with some grease there. Get them started as much as you can. And for this, I'm pressing them in, but I'm just using the vise. I'm really not doing it over there on the press itself, just because once these do get going, they go. So while waiting for parts for the rear end still, I just kind of jumped up here in the front. Gonna have to change out that axle anyways, and the winch isn't working. Even in free spool, I can't get the thing to come out. The solenoid just clicks. So I kind of came up here to the front. I was gonna disconnect this because I thought the winch was actually locked up. I noticed that this one just pretty well fell out. I'm getting all this dust coming out of there, and kind of see into the wires here. Anyways, they're all nasty and just kind of falling down into. Okay, so as I kind of originally thought, that the winch is bad, and so the only thing I can kind of see is that he does apparently have the older style. As you can tell on the left side there, that drum is way bigger than the new style. This is the style that I've been running the whole time, and maybe that's the upgrade, maybe that's why, but this motor is fully locked. And actually, it's really not the drum that's bigger. On the right side here, there's nothing but motor. Left side, here's all the gears. And on this side, it's kind of split between the two. So we'll see. But this one is completely locked up, as he did break his synthetic rope. Got a whole new one that I am threading back on there as we go. So fast forward after 2 bolts and a brake caliper later, and the diff is installed. Also got a new seal put into the output shaft there. Looks good back there. Just, yeah, like I said, all you had to do is swap over the brake disc there, and you're ready to go. Kind of cleaned up, like you saw there. Got the new bushings, got to clean up and put anti-seize on all these splines. Throw those back in, and the rear end should be done. Okay, now that the rear tires and rear end are all put back together and on the table, we can move up here towards the front. So we're going to address this front axle and this output shaft seal. We're just going to go ahead and replace it since we're going to be kind of knocked down this far. He broke this axle. Yeah, that's not supposed to look like that, so we're going to replace it with this one here. This is a niche one. The niche, the 680, the Cobra stock, the high lifter stock replacement axles are pretty much all the same specs, same boots. They're not the TP EE boots, but he's still not running a lift kit. He's got 30-inch silverbacks, and so he says he kind of deserved this one. This one was also the one I rebuilt the inner, so this axle just had it. We're going to go ahead and test out this axle. We'll see what it does. Might hold up. It should hold up because, I mean, the angles aren't bad. He just said he was turned, fully locked, diff locked, everything, and so it was deserving brake. But seal is replaced. Go ahead and install new O-rings. Grease up everything. clean out inside there. Just add a bunch of grease up in there, slide it on, open over that O-ring. Check to make sure your O-rings are perfectly placed on the boots. Go ahead and torque everything down to spec on your diff. There's only 2 bolts holding it on. And next we can get this axle out, whatever you want to call that thing. Tires on, seals on, new axles on. You guys, I kind of did this in another video, so you kind of know what's going on. Just a basic old axle swap and seal swap. So after I was done with that, I came over here and just started cleaning up both of the air filters and adding oil. Went to go clean his uni filter on the Rubicon. Good to go. Went to the stock Honda filter here. It's doing great, other than you might have seen that there. This thing is disintegrating. If this thing's been sitting a while, you guys check that, because that's what's going to end up breaking up. Even though there is the cage, you are going to have the cage, so that cage caught a little bit of it. Probably caught most of it before I actually disturbed it, and led to that. So needless to say, he's going to be getting a uni just like the Rubicon. If you guys remember in the first set of videos that I did with this thing, I looped that crankcase. You know, you go from that port to the airbox port right there, and I loop it around a couple times and make it like a little air pocket. Well, I did that with the HMF Swamp series that I had on here, and I header wrapped the header. And when he put in the RJWC, he didn't do that, and it's kind of a bigger diameter pipe or header, and so it just got really close to that hose. And he got pretty lucky because he started melting it down. That piece was sitting like right there, and it just melted down. He got very, very close to going all the way through, but he did not. Nothing in the oil, nothing like that. So went out and got more of it. That's what you use there. 1/2 inch ID, 3/4 inch OD, PVC air hose. It does really well. We are going to end up probably wrapping the header again. Man, sorry about the lighting. Lighting's coming through the shop there. But we're going to go ahead and redo that and give him a nice new looped crankcase vent. So this time with this setup, what we did was went down from here, put a hose clamp on there, ran it up around that frame piece there, and put 2 loops around his throttle body. And that's going to create that air pocket as always, and then back down into the air box. For the header, just went back with some of the header wrap, nice and tight, all the way down. As you can see, that is where it melted at before this was installed. And he's also got a heat shield behind here and on the actual engine cover itself. So with this whole setup now, it should be able to, once again, not burn up his leg and not melt through plastics anymore, even though it's a little bit too late for that. But just keep the stuff wet when you install it. Keep it really tight. And instead of the bands that they send with them, I just put hose clamps on there to help hold it tight. And so nothing's going to fall off or break up later. Also got the new Badlands 3500 installed with new wires all the way down, and that new synthetic rope here. Always switch to that. I got so many brand new wire spools that I just scrap them. Not worth it. The toe plate's still holding up fine. Haas fair lead. So ready to go on that.